What's up everybody, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Inclement Emerald Hardest Battles Challenger Mode. I hope you enjoyed those clips of me getting owned. It was recommended by a subscriber that I show some clips of my losses and attempts. So you guys can kind of see some of the work that goes into this. I'm not running around beating all these bosses on my first try. And this was a hard one, so if you couldn't tell already from the beginning of the video, this is an inverse battle. So check this out, super effective moves will be not very effective. I know it's kind of hard to read there under the start button, and not very effective moves will be super effective. So everything's flip-flopped. It's called an inverse battle. This is the first time I've seen anything like this, so without further ado, here we go. Let's get into it. Tate and Liza. It was tricky getting used to the type advantages being opposite, and of course it's going to be a double battle. They go ahead and send out Slowbro and Claydol, and I lead with Snorlax and Zapdos. It took many attempts to figure out a winning strategy here, so we're going to start off with a typical start, a Curse from Snorlax and Light Screen out of Zapdos. A typical first turn setup. Now right out the gate we got a Mega Evolution. We got Mega Slowbro. Tate and Liza aren't pulling any punches this game. Zapdos moves first, we activate the Light Screen. Zapdos is holding a Light Clay item to increase the duration. Snorlax is going to go second and use Curse. Now already you can see something's off a little bit. Snorlax is usually very slow, and Slowbro is going to hit us with Psychic. We should tank that fairly well thanks to the Light Screen, and there it is. The Claydol hits the Trick Room. So not only is this an inverse battle, but they are running a Trick Room team. That's right. So Trick Room is a move that for a certain amount of turns, it flips the speed mechanics. So slower Pokemon move first, and faster Pokemon move last. So now it makes sense that their team would be full of all slow Pokemon, very low speed stats. Now we're going to go for another Curse with Snorlax. This is huge for two reasons. Number one, we're beefing them up with attack and defense buffs, and the speed drop also is going to work to our advantage because the slower the Pokemon, the better in a Trick Room setup. So Zapdos is going to go down to Signal Beam. If you didn't notice, that was a super effective Signal Beam on the flying type Pokemon. Just to remind you, this is an inverse battle. I know it's really tricky and confusing sometimes. Even I forget. You'll see me make a mistake or a misplay here in a second. The type chart is just so ingrained into my mind. I've been playing Pokemon for 15 years. The type chart is just so programmed into me that even knowing consciously that this is an inverse battle, it's just like muscle memory. Like I know Crunch, Dark is super effective against Psychic. It's a habit, you know what I mean? So we bring out Tyranitar here for a couple of different reasons. Number one, he's slow, which works to our advantage in a Trick Room. And number two, he's going to draw attention away from Snorlax. So Snorlax attacks first with Crunch, and it's going to be not very effective because I misplayed. Slowbro fires back with Psychic. It's going to be super effective against a Dark-type Tyranitar, but thanks to Light Screen and Tyranitar being a beast, we take that decently well. Fire back with Stone Edge for neutral damage, does a little bit less than half, and Claydol is going to deactivate the Trick Room. That's the thing too. He can activate and deactivate the Trick Room whenever he wants. Most likely deactivating the Trick Room, noticing that Snorlax is now the slowest Pokemon on the field, and also because Tyranitar is very slow himself too. So now back to normal speed mechanics, we are at a disadvantage once again. Now Tyranitar can't really do too much here. If you notice, none of his moves are super effective, so our best bet is to go for the Stealth Rocks here. And he actually moves first, which is crazy. Tyranitar is a very slow Pokemon, and with no Trick Room, he is moving first. Tyranitar is going to eat another Psychic here, but thanks to Light Screen, that very important first turn, we hang on. Snorlax fires with a Body Slam for neutral damage, and it's not quite enough to take him out. Claydol reactivates the Trick Room, so it is back up and activated again, the inverse speed mechanics. Now, we are set up in a way that regardless of whether Trick Room is up or down, we will have at least one Pokemon moving first. Because if Trick Room is up, Snorlax's speed reduction from using Curse will make him the slowest and therefore move first. Now if Trick Room is down, all of my Pokemon, including my slowest Pokemon, Tyranitar, will move first, considering the opposing team's Pokemon are all incredibly slow, designed to utilize the Trick Room. To put it simply, Snorlax will always be the slowest, and the rest of my Pokemon will always be the fastest. Now we're going to keep beefing up Snorlax with Curse. One more Psychic out of the Slowbro is going to do it for Tyranitar, but that's okay. Everything's going according to plan. Snorlax has to remain on the field for the entirety of the battle. We're going to eat a Psychic here, but we should be perfectly fine thanks to the light screen, and everything's going according to plan. Tyranitar didn't maybe seem to do much, but he did his job. Trust me, he did his job. Snorlax is on the field, beefed up, and almost full health too. Snorlax being on the field for the entirety of the battle is our win condition. This second slot basically is to bait some of their damage output away from Snorlax into that second spot. Now we've cursed up enough. It's time to start doing some damage. We're going to go for Body Slam with Snorlax, and we're going to go for a priority move, Water Shuriken out of Greninja to take out that Slowbro. Priority moves override Trick Room. Regardless of whether Trick Room is up or down, priority moves always override the Trick Room. So that's 1 down, 5 to go. We got Mega Slowbro out of the way, their biggest threat, and we're going to hit a Body Slam into Claydol, see how much it does, and it's going to be a good chunk of damage. Now Claydol is going to deactivate the Trick Room. I always lose track of whether Trick Room is up or down. It's tricky. There's no indicator that says if it's up or down. So losing track of it, or rather keeping track of it, is very important in this matchup. So now that Trick Room is down, we have Greninja on the field, and he will always be the fastest Pokemon, so we can get a guaranteed first move out of Greninja. He sends out Lunatone, who is also very slow. Now here's where Snorlax comes into play. A Body Slam out of Snorlax into Lunatone will be super effective and will most definitely one-shot. Now the problem here is I don't have any even neutral damage moves against the Claydol. All of my moves are super effective against Claydol. So our best bet here is to go for the Ice Beam and just hope for the Freeze. This will also change our Dark typing thanks to Protein, Greninja's ability, and will change him to an Ice typing. This can protect us from potentially super effective moves. I decided I'm going to go for Claydol here. I know it's not going to have enough power to take him out, but like I said, we're just going to hope for the Freeze and hope for the best. It is a 30% chance, not very effective, and we get the Freeze. What luck. We get the Freeze. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. And Lunatone's going to fire off a Ghost Gem boosted Shadow Ball into Snorlax. This is going to be super effective. Light Screen is still up, mind you, so we're able to take that damage pretty well. Snorlax fires back with a Body Slam, super effective. This should be a one-shot, and let's see. Get out of here, Lunatone's done. This is exactly why we beef up Snorlax with all those curses. We're going to one-shot everybody up in here. And Claydol is going to be frozen this turn, thanks to Greninja's Ice Beam, and we are in a great position. Let's go. We are going to take some Sandstorm damage. Not much we can really do about that. Claydol is now going to be incapacitated for the next 2 to 3 turns, hopefully. So at this point, I see him as not much of a threat right now. So we focus on Reuniclus comes onto the field. Now, like I said, our win condition is Snorlax being on the field for the entire battle. We're going to go ahead and slack off to heal up just in case and be safe. We cannot allow Snorlax to fall. So same predicament as last time. We have no super effective moves. We go for the Ice Beam and hope for the lucky Freeze. It does neutral damage, but no Freeze, unfortunately. Hey, 1 Freeze is more than I could ask for, you know. We're going to get hit with Psychic. It's not going to be super effective thanks to Greninja's Protein making him an Ice type rather than Dark. We get the Spadef drop. That's okay. Snorlax uses Slack Off, and we're going to heal back up to full. We're in a great position here. Snorlax is at full health right as our light screen dies. This is very important that Snorlax be at full health for the light screen being down now at this point. Greninja, who's just barely hanging on, falls to Sandstorm, unfortunately. Nothing we can do about that. Greninja did his job. We were able to finish off the Slowbro with the priority Water Shuriken, and we got the lucky Freeze on Claydol. So good job, Greninja. Now at this point, it could go either way. It really doesn't matter who we send out now. Gengar is probably the smarter option. So here we're going to go for a Hypnosis on the Reuniclus and just incapacitate their full team. Would be the best case scenario. Snorlax is going to attack with Body Slam, opting to go for damage on Reuniclus rather than the KO on Claydol. Now, I want to backstep a little bit here. I think that's the wrong call. So instead of going for the damage, I really want to get this Claydol off the field. My original thought was he is incapacitated, being frozen, but he could unfreeze at any moment. So I switch it up, go for the Body Slam on Claydol, go for Hypnosis on the Reuniclus, and it hits perfect, and everything is going according to plan here. Reuniclus is asleep. Snorlax is gonna go ahead and use Body Slam on Claydol and finish him off for good. Here we go. You see how that last minute little change of plans, just making calls on the fly like that, sometimes it can work out. Most of the time it does work out. You just gotta go with your gut, baby. For these boss battles, after many attempts, usually I have the first few like 3 to 6 sequence of turns all planned out for every possible outcome. But then it gets to the point where we end up getting off script a little bit, and you gotta just make plays, calls on the fly like that, like I just did, switch it up. So they send out Executor, and he is a Trick Room user as well. Trick Room is currently down. We know that because Gengar moves first. We attack with Dream Eater on the sleeping Reuniclus. It is super effective thanks to these wacko inverse battle rules. Psychic is super effective against Psychic, but it's not quite enough to take him out. Reuniclus fires back with a Psychic on Snorlax, and it's not going to do very much damage at all because Snorlax is a beast. Snorlax fires back with Body Slam on the Executor, and that's going to do a whole lot of damage. Let's go. Executor fires up the Trick Room. No big deal. That may actually work to our advantage. Another round of everyone getting buffeted by the Sandstorm. But here we go. Trick Room is up. So now that Trick Room is up, Snorlax will always move first rather than Gengar. So on this next turn, we have the option to take out one of his 2 Pokemon off the bat with Body Slam. It's just a matter of who is more of a threat during this turn. Now for a split second, I do considering playing it safe and using Slack Off just to heal back up. But at this point, I make the call for the offensive play. We need to play aggressive at this point. We have first move. We can take out one of their Mons. Snorlax is not at full health, but that's okay. I think it is actually more safe to go for the aggressive play here and take out one of his Mons. Gengar doesn't have any super effective moves, but they're both low, so it shouldn't matter. Snorlax uses Body Slam, and that's it for Reuniclus. Perfect. Let's just hope that Executor doesn't target Snorlax, and he doesn't. He goes for a super effective Solar Beam on Gengar, and that's probably going to take him out. But did anyone catch that he just used Solar Beam on one turn with no sunlight out? I don't understand that. I don't know how he did that. But anyways, at least it wasn't Snorlax, because that could have ended badly. But as I was explaining before, having Gengar on the field was there strategically to bait the super effective move so that Executor would see the super effective move on Gengar and opt to attack Gengar instead of Snorlax. We need to keep Snorlax alive for this entire battle. That is our win condition. So we're going to go ahead and send out Flygon next, and he sends out Solrock. Another decision to make here. He is down to his last 2 Pokemon, so instead of playing it safe and going for the Slack Off to heal up, we're going to go for the aggressive play, go for the Body Slam on Executor, and make this a 2v1 and finish this battle strong. Flygon's going to go for a Rock Slide. He will move last though, so if we do get this Rock Slide off, it will be super effective and hope for the flinch. Snorlax takes out Executor with Body Slam. Perfect. Now Solrock goes for Flare Blitz on the Flygon. This is going to be 4 times super effective thanks to being ground and dragon type. That's okay. That's going to one-shot Flygon, and nothing we can do about that. We knew Flygon was going to move last, but that's okay. It's down to the 1v1 now, baby. It's 1v1, Solrock versus Snorlax. This is what we planned for. This is what we trained for, boy. This is what we trained for. Let's go. We played this perfectly. This is checkmate, baby. So we're going to move with Body Slam. We attack first. It's going to be super effective on the rock type. And that's going to be it for Solrock. Let's go, baby. One shot. One shot. That's one shot. That's one shot, son. One shot. If you know the reference, you know. Drop it in the comments if you know the reference. But that's it for Tate and Liza. Hard-fought victory. Let's go. Snorlax, our MVP once again, getting the job done. Now this was a hard one. This was a tricky one too. An inverse battle with a Trick Room team. This was no fun and games, man. I'm telling you. It was pretty fun though, trying to figure out ways around the Trick Room and dealing with the type advantages being backwards. But I really did have a lot of fun with this one, guys. Let me know what you thought about this. Let me know what you thought about the beginning part. Also, the Elite Four is coming up soon. So I want you guys to vote on which Pokemon you want to see in the Elite Four, which Pokemon you want to see me use. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.